Look, you know I love a tiger. She got the buns I admire. I'm at the butt, I bet your car. I'm about to
Hi
say.
guys, welcome back to Keeping Up with Coco. Thank you so much for tuning in. Obviously, you're familiar with the show Family Guy.
Did Mr. Jackson behave inappropriately toward you?
Well, yes, but the worst part was he never called back.
I feel like Family Guy is one of those shows that you can watch anytime. It'll never get old. I feel like Family Guy is a show that everybody loves. But I'm here to tell you about the creepiest episode that I've ever seen of Family Guy. So, season 13, episode 12. It's called Stewie Asiente. Oh, let me tell y'all, when I put this on, I put on Family Guy and then I fell asleep and then I woke up in the middle of the night and this episode was playing. The episode starts off as like this regular episode. In this episode, what I'm going to be focusing on is more so Stewie and Brian, not really like Peter and Louis and, you know, the other characters. It's mainly Stewie and Brian. Anyway, Stewie in this episode, he feels like there's a disconnect with him and Brian.
But I gotta go. I have a date. This is serious, Rupert.
Him and Brian, if you ever watch the show, obviously they are like best friends. So in this episode, Stewie felt like Brian wasn't giving him enough attention, and he made multiple attempts to get Brian's attention, but Brian just wouldn't give it to him. Not purposely, but because, you know, he's like, I got my own life too. Anywho, here's where things get weird. Stewie sees that his neighbor just had a baby. It's a husband and wife, and he's watching them play together, and he tells himself, he's like, wow, like they never used to spend as much time together until they had the baby. Maybe me and Brian need to have a baby so that we could spend more time together. Anywho, without Brian knowing, he goes and gets Brian's DNA, then injects it into himself. And voila, Stewie is pregnant with Brian's baby. Well, Stewie tells Brian, like, yo, I'm pregnant with your baby. And Brian is like, how? Like, how did this happen? Anyway, he tells him, like, hey, I took your DNA, and, you know, this is what I did so that we could spend more time together. And Brian's like, what? Like, how am I supposed to walk around with a pregnant baby? How am I supposed to tell anybody that you know?
Craving for burgers. It's like my body is just craving red meat.
Mind you, throughout the episode, they going baby shopping. Stewie and Brian did a maternity shoot, and it had to be the cringiest shoot I've ever seen. Even though it's a cartoon, it was still cringy to me because I'm like, I've always watched Family Guy, so it's like... The creepiest part about the whole episode was when Stewie had the baby, and he was in the car. Brian was driving, Stewie's in the passenger seat, and he's like, oh my gosh, like my water just broke. And Stewie starts having Brian's babies. When he was giving birth, like the babies just started shooting out of him.
Careful, don't get anything on the... Another one's coming! I don't see it. I think it's coming out of my mouth!
And I think this is where this is the part where it's just like, yeah, I don't know if I could watch Family Guy anymore. It was when I actually seen how the babies looked. It's... how to describe it? Well, I'm gonna show you guys. The baby was half human, half dog. Just like, what is this episode really about? Because I'm just not getting it. The whole episode was about Stewie having Brian's babies. It was just so cringy. And I'm telling you, you don't know it's cringy until you watch it and you're just like... So it goes to show you that only Family Guy could put together a show about a baby being pregnant by a dog.